Hey everybody, welcome back. Yeah, first of all, yeah, sorry about the having to push back by a day. Lately, I've been trying to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, and yesterday I just had a thing come up and had to address it. And but I also didn't want to wait until Thursday to get a stream in, so I figured, we'll just we'll roll with it. We'll do a Wednesday. Kind of want to get this Skeletor piece, maybe not finished or anything like that, but definitely wanted to work on it again, so it was fortuitous. So yeah, I've got some pose tweaks I want to get done. I had an initial idea that he was going to be sitting in a chair, like a throne or something, and just sort of like, being maniacal Skeletor as he is. Yeah, I don't know, like, just the pose just seemed way too relaxed, and I started kicking around some other ideas for what I could do with it. I've got this one where he's basically chilling out. He's still sitting, but he's kind of leaning forward. And what I want to do is have like his other hand, like maybe he's got his arm up on the side of the throne thing, and then he's got like maybe another hand here. Like maybe he's got his hands sort of like around whatever this magic thing is. Maybe there's like, maybe he's casting a spell or something. I don't know. But then it makes me think that maybe I need to take this whole pose and kind of pull him over to the other side. As you can see, I started cheating a little bit by working on other stuff that I shouldn't have. Yeah, hide this. Maybe he's, yeah, so he's got like one arm up. Check out our hand here. Reference the real world whenever we can, because, hey, it's here. It's free. Yeah, something like that. Then we'll have like have his thumb. Could be kind of interesting. Hand is looking a little big, so I might go ahead and scale that thing down. I don't know. Maybe that works. So anyways, there's that possibility. Maybe he's like, so he's sitting, he's got his little sash thing or whatever, just kind of like hanging down. And let's see, his knee would be about here. And then, I might just go ahead and adjust this again. The placement's a little weird for me. Maybe something like that. If we rotate it. So it's kind of like a Dutch angle type. Ooh, that's kind of neat. That's way more dramatic than what I had. And dramatic and or more dynamic is usually better. What is going on here? Got a few of these things just kind of hanging out. And then he's got his outfit. Kind of bulk it out a little bit. So it feels like he's I mean, it's Masters of the Universe and it's Skeletor, so he should feel like he's muscular, but he shouldn't feel like an absolute Hulk. But I think what can sort of make up for it is the what can make up for it is bulking out the armor and his gear. Basically just making his silhouette a little bigger. And you can tell, like, again, he's got a muscular body, but without going too crazy. I'm still not pleased with how this hand is coming out. thing's getting messy. Let me just go ahead and redraw this. This is not exactly going the way I wanted it to. Actually, this for a second. I'm gonna try something. Holding his Havoc staff, maybe. And the back of his chair. Maybe something like that could work. I don't know. If anybody has any feedback, let me know. So there's this. There's that as a possibility. And then there's something a lot more straightforward where he's basically... You're going to see me looking down and referencing my little Skeletor dude every once in a while. He's basically got... yeah, I mean, it's like a standard, you know, ha ha ha, I've got the power maniacal pose going on. Again, kind of get a little more bulk back here since he does have this armor on. Ugh. All right, anyway, so we'll have some of that going on up here. I'll have, you know, some type of like power coming off his hand. It's easy enough. See, he's supposed to look like he's got straps or something down here, so I might maybe like pull this down like this. He's got like maybe some buckles or something down here. That he's got maybe some other little armor bumpies or whatever. Yeah, I'll do that. Something to start cutting apart his silhouette a little bit. Also, anything to make it feel a little more jagged, just kind of dangerous is nice. Actually, I kind of like this pose too. Like, it's just, you know, kind of simple and this area over here is starting to be a bit of a problem. I think I'll use the magic to kind of brighten this area out so that these shapes aren't running into each other so much. Or something. I don't know. I'm sure we can make that work. Need to shrink the size of this hand. It's looking a little big. Like that. That should work. There we go. Let's see here. He's got this armor back here. By the way, like the character I'm referencing, the version of him is the it's from the early 2000s toy line and cartoon. I thought they did a fantastic job of sort of retaining the feel of the original characters, but you know, adding a bit more detail and just making their designs just a little more sophisticated. At least I thought most of the characters were pretty well done. I think there's maybe a few here and there that, you know, it was like, okay. But for the most part, you know, like Skeletor is one of those. Like, I think their update of his design was absolutely brilliant. I mean, he looks like Skeletor. Actually, you know what? We might just go ahead and sketch in what this energy stuff needs to look like, because it might obscure a bunch of this other stuff, and then I don't even have to worry about drawing it. Okay, I'm sort of making this up at this point. He doesn't actually have any spikes back here, but it kind of helps with the silhouette. Okay, so let's see. I think compositionally, what would look good? I think let's see. Maybe something like that. What I'd kind of like to do is come up with some compositional reason for everything to start kind of sweeping in that direction to, you know, sort of support the energy that's being created, you know. So it could be like the shadows behind him might maybe fall in that direction, or, you know, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. Just anything to maintain that sense of energy would be nice. Anyways, I don't know. I feel like both of these have some potential to them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could kind of go either way, honestly. I think both of these are kind of cool. So we've got, let's see, this one. Go ahead. So that's one option for how we could redo it. Something like this is the second one. I don't know. I kind of feel like this one breathes a little better. This one's a little close in for my tastes. I don't know. I think I might just do this one. I don't know. Again, if anybody has feedback, let me know. Let's see here. Let's see. If we're gonna do this one, then I might. Let's see. Turn this one off. This one should be at 38, not the whole thing. Yeah, let's go ahead and take that sketch and throw that down here. And we'll go ahead and lighten this up a bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and do some more accurate lines on top of this that we can then go in and start inking. And this is where having this character sitting in front of me is going to be handy. Just in case you're still not familiar with what I was talking about. So it's this dude. Super, super awesome update of the design. I don't know how close I can get this before he goes out of focus. But, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's what I'm using. And yeah, he's got like all these details and stuff that they've added, like on his gauntlets and on all the armor. It's pretty cool. So anyways, I'm just gonna leave him out since I'm referencing him. Yeah. And when I do the color pass too, I'll reference his colors. I like how they're already kind of they're a little more dull, which is nice. Because we're not gonna want this to feel uplifting or anything. So let's see here. He's got like this bone frill looking thing that connects from about here down to his chest. He's got the bones. We're going to make the bone part just a little more prominent than it is on the toy. This goes down, you see a little bit of that bone sticking out there. There's like a little ring. Yeah, so I mean, these are the pros and cons of using a design that's a little more detailed, because then when it comes time to putting all this in there, you find yourself spending a lot of time just sort of noodling on getting the details in there right, getting the proportions right. It's worth it in the end, don't get me wrong, because it ends up looking super cool. But, I mean, nevertheless, I mean, it's something you got to deal with. I even like how they updated his anatomy. Like, they kind of gave him this, like, sinewy, kind of wiry, muscly, like, bones sticking out. I don't know. It's kind of gross, but kind of awesome. It's cool to draw. That much is for sure. Bring this down. He's got the little bat head thing. Alfred, where's He-Man? Oh, he's got the little bone bits in here. And then when we throw the inks on these, we'll make them look nice and gnarly. We'll use the lines and stuff to our advantage to really like sell the, like make him feel kind of like sharp, and just everything on his outfit should feel like it would hurt you to touch it. That's one of the things that I love about this design, is it feels like the stuff on his outfit would just, like, it just looks like it hurts. Like, it doesn't look like it necessarily hurts him, but it would hurt you if you touched it. Okay, put this dude down for a second. Yeah, I'm thinking I might go back to the other pose that we mocked up a second ago that we are not using, at least not right now. Thinking about going back and doing a version with that one, just because I in my head I'm starting to think of a way that I think could make that work. Start mocking up where some of the blacks will go, like down here, and then some of these. Yeah, so we already started sort of indicating to ourselves over here where all those are going to go. So basically what I'm doing is, instead of these flaps that he has on his shoulders right here, as if you can actually see that, these things, they almost look like something from like a Roman outfit or something, like Roman like armor or whatever. Anyway, they look a little stiff here, but just for this, I think it would be cool to have them just sort of like kind of draping down over the shoulder. I've sometimes, like, I tend to draw it differently, depending on, you know, the context. Like sometimes they're like, you know, like if I need them, like their posing usually becomes whatever I need. So like if compositionally I need something that's kind of spiky and just kind of out there to give it some energy, then I'll just let them kind of fly up a little bit more. And then if it's more convenient for that shot for them to be like folded down in a really interesting way, like maybe the weight of them is just kind of hanging, like he's got these massive jewels or whatever mounted on them, then I'll just let them hang down, you know, and I might exaggerate the length of them. They're kind of his spawn cape, if you will. But yeah, we can. I mean, they're just cool elements that can kind of just be whatever you need them to be. So in this case, like I was saying, like I think we can do with just keeping them kind of laying down over here, and then maybe on the other side, depending on where we land with this, the magical effects, because we don't want to busy up the composition in that area too much. But depending on what goes on over there, like we'll probably just have them laying down on that side as well. At this moment, anyway, I can't think of a reason why we would need them to be any bigger than that. But you never know. Sometimes as you're working on it, you come up with ideas on how you want to do things, and it's not necessarily where you started. So we'll see. Right now, I don't think we're gonna need to. I don't think we're gonna need it, but yeah, we'll see. God, I've been drawing a lot at work lately, so my hands are getting stiff. Anyways. That works. Let's see, what does he got? Got accessories falling off over here. got a little strap down here. Just gonna throw his ass all over my desk, apparently. Got a Butterfingers action right now. Maybe it's some type of torn cloth or something. Having the spikes down there were just feeling like a little much. So maybe he's got like some torn cloth or something kind of coming off of like a bit of his outfit or something. He's Skeletor. He doesn't give a shit. He's like, yeah, I've got some stuff torn. Whatever. Yeah, the more of this information we can knock in right now, the quicker the inking process will go. Sometimes I get impatient, so I just jump right into the inking, but then it's like you kind of have to figure out a lot of it as you go. And you're also trying to, keep the line quality decent because you're laying down inks. Just get rid of all that. It's just sort of confusing it. That kind of works. Yeah. Success. Dun dun. Okay, let's get this neck thing going. Okay, so he's got an attachment here. Kind of goes down like that. And he's got one appeal. Kind of does that. There we go. That's better. Let's see. And then the bat thing. And then he's got a little bit of a... See down here, he's got... Yeah, for anybody who's kind of new to watching me work, I do that a lot. I flip the canvas back and forth. I'm sure it gets annoying after a while, but it's such an easy way to sort of refresh your vision, and suddenly it's you can, once you see them aligned differently, sometimes proportional things will stick out, or just little things, you'll see it differently. In the old days, they used to like hold up a mirror to kind of spot check their work like that, and luckily we don't have to do that because Photoshop has a handy little flip horizontal that you can actually map to like a hotkey or something. I think I have mine's set to Control F. It was funny because when I did that, when I changed the shortcut key bindings, it was like, well, Control F is currently attached to like Find. It was like, are you sure? And I'm going, I don't think I've ever had to use that for as long as I've used Photoshop. So yeah, I'm fine with it. Find. I mean, I'm sure it's useful for something, but I've half the time I forget that it's even there. Need to make sure this stuff is radiating from his head and aligning that way. It's all about maintaining the focus where you want it and keeping energy, giving it energy and keeping that energy wherever you can by controlling your line direction. At least that's how I like to do it anyway. Oh, I almost forgot. Apparently Skeletor's got some nips. Hey, Roy Cop, what's going on, man? Wow, it's been forever since I talked to you. How you doing? Yeah, I'm sorry about not putting out the heads up that I was going to be on. I was talking about this earlier. It's like I had some stuff come up yesterday, and I was like, well, I guess I'll push the stream to Thursday, because I usually try to do it Tuesday and Thursday anyway. And then somewhat spur of the moment, I was like, I feel like drawing, so I might as well just turn on Twitch and just do a Wednesday stream. Nothing too crazy, but like we were talking about last time, like I have this Skeletor that I've been noodling on it here and there, and I've been excited to get it finished, especially after the Kazu piece went really well. So yeah, I'm sorry. That was it was kind of spur of the moment. Usually I like to put out a thing on Discord or Twitter or whatever, and I kind of dropped the ball on that one tonight. So I will try to put out a reminder for everybody tomorrow about tomorrow night's stream. Yeah, my entire month is just kind of going like this. Like the days are just like zooming by, and half the time I don't remember what day it is. Trying to survive craziness in life. Hey, I hear you on that, bud. I hear you. Yeah. Craziness of life. God, who was I talking to the other day about this? Like, yeah, life craziness, especially like the last couple of months out of the year. I feel like they just zoom by. Like yesterday, I was taking my son trick-or-treating. And then today I was like, oh, there's what, like 2 weeks until Christmas or something? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, get some rest. I'll try to do some highlights for the stream or whatever. Feel free to come back and watch that stuff, and like I said, I'll be on again tomorrow. Oh no, I mean I'm trick or treating on December 10th. No, it feels like I was taking him trick or treating just yesterday. And then suddenly you kind of blink your eyes a couple times, and suddenly it's Christmas. Yeah. No, we weren't trick or treating yesterday. Hey, you know what? Who knows? Maybe it could be a new thing. Christmas treating or something. And people give out candy canes. Who knows? Maybe we just came up with something new. Sure, my son would love that. You can walk around the neighborhood and see all the snowmen and the inflatable snowmen in people's yards. Alright, so we've got this magic stuff over here, so I'm not going to bother detailing this out too much. Ugh, this stuff doesn't even line up. My parents think it's hilarious that I draw this stuff still. They're like, you were playing with these figures when you were a kid. Blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, I know. I know. I never grew up. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I mean, they don't laugh at it like making fun of it. They just, I think it's more of like an irony thing on their part, especially since, and actually, my parents were here over the Thanksgiving holiday, so we ended up having a conversation about this around the dinner table. But I mean, they didn't think that it was actually going to be anything. I mean, I don't think the average person really ever even thinks that art is something that you can do. I don't think anybody really thinks about it too much. Like, you think about it more as something that, you know, like it's the starving artist thing, right? Like, it's like, oh yeah, it's really neat to have a talent, but you know, you don't really do anything with it because nobody really knows. Like, it's not common to see something that you would need this kind of ability for. So they just didn't think that it was, you know, something that you could do. And then I think it was somebody that my dad worked with. My dad was in the military, and I think it was somebody my dad worked with whose son was going off to art school or something. And I was like, really? Art school? And I was like, yeah, you can actually get jobs doing, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly my parents were like, oh, okay. So anyways, I think that's more where it comes from. It's just like, it's just sort of the irony of, like, you know, being a kid and being interested in a lot of this stuff and comics and movies and everything. And then just, you know, like one day, like finding a way to kind of make it work where you can make a decent living doing it. The other one that's, even I'll laugh at this, is like when I was a kid, I used to hate doing backgrounds for my drawings. Like, no joke. I mean, I would, like, my mom used to laugh because, like, my entire sketchbook was just like characters on white backgrounds. And then I ended up getting a concept art job in games, primarily doing environments. So now I love doing environments, but whenever she sees me posting up work online that's environment based or whatever, she always just kind of chuckles and she's like, you know, I remember when you absolutely hated doing this stuff. He was like, how do you like it now? I was like, oh, I love it. I still can't. Dude, so that's the exact reason why I've been doing a lot more of this lately. Is just, for my day job, I do, because I do concept design for games, and most of what I do is in 3D. The only time I ever really sketch is if I'm just trying to set up, if I'm just trying to, sort of pre-plan a shot or something. But for the most part, oh, and when it comes to painting, it's like, it's mostly, manipulating renders and photos and, stuff like that. So I don't have that much in the way of opportunities to like just spend time at work drawing. And so just lately, because of that, like just being really afraid of, my skills waning. Because like I have a sketchbook that I take to a lot of meetings, and like sometimes if I'm not writing notes, I'll sit there and I'll jot down a sketch. And after a while, I just realized like this is difficult now, and that scared me a bit, to be honest. So that's why I was just like, you know what, screw it. Like when I go home, I'm not going to work on modeling. I'm not going to do any rendering, unless I really need it for whatever I'm doing. I'm just gonna draw it. So you're still doing CG? Are you teaching, or like what have you been up to, man? Medical manufacturing. Okay. That's still cool though, dude. I mean, you've got a technical talent that you're able to put to good use. I mean, make talents that finish. Oh, wow. So do you have any hand in actually designing those things, or do you just get like, do you get designs and then you just like do the models for them, or like how does that work? Like what part of the pipeline are you in? Oh, cool. That's neat, dude. Ah ha ha ha. That's awesome. Sort out that nip later. Spending way too much time on that. Okay. What do we got up here? Oh, he's got these little borders. Actually, I got a quick question, man. So if you're doing mechanical, like if you're doing industrial design modeling for like the engineering part, you said you were using Max. Is there a reason why? And like I don't know. I'm genuinely curious. Like, is there a reason why you don't use like a CAD program, like Fusion or any of the other ones? Oh. Got it. Let's get this glove knocked in. Okay. Got it. Okay. Well, that's great, dude. I actually I have a friend whose child needed something like that a few years back, and from what I recall, man, it helped a lot. Trying to reference the the veins that they modeled into his hand and stuff, but I think I'm just gonna end up doing some of this, reworking some of it, and just kind of doing my own version of it. It's not until you're referencing it directly that you realize like how few details you can get into these sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. Let's, never mind. That's decent. I might go in and put some smaller ones in there, kind of like with some of these veins, but I think for the most part that'll work. Never mind. I mean, this is all just kind of indications of where I can put stuff anyway. Okay, so real quick, that should be my center line. Whoa, that is nuts. Ay, ay, ay. Which model is my reference? Oh, yeah, I'm using the, got the 2000, what was it, the 2003? Dude. I love this one, man. Like, hands down, this is my favorite Skeletor design ever. It's like he stayed iconic, but just has so many more cool details that, like, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, they support the design. Like, they don't take away anything from it. He still has a really simple read. Yeah, he's got that iconic feel, but he's just, kind of amped up a little bit. I love it. Actually, this one, so you probably can't even see it from there, but I ended up taking it. This is years back. I think I was in college when I did this. And I remember thinking that the amount of detail in these sculpts was so insane that it was a shame that they didn't do like a McFarlane Toys like paint pass, where I think it's called wipes, where it's like they apply the paint or whatever into all the cracks and everything, and then they sort of paint, they take something and they sort of wipe off all the excess, and so it sort of leaves behind this like a dirt or ambient occlusion type look or whatever. Anyway, it just accentuates a lot of the small details. So I did a pass like that on him, on some of his armor, and it just gives it this gritty feel because there's so much detail in these sculpts. Granted, in some areas it looks better than others, but for the most part, like he's got this more kind of zombie, like corpse like feel, which is kind of neat. The big NECA statue. Selling your home. Oh, are you moving somewhere? Ah. Well, good luck with that, man. I hope everything goes okay. Moving can either be really exciting or a real drag. The drag one? Fair enough. Fair enough. That's how it goes sometimes. God, there's so much detail in this thing. Every time I'm like, oh, that's it, I find something else. God, he's got these little rivets in here. Yeah, something like that. God, and then there's a face under here. All right, I might need to flip this. There we go. I can actually see what I'm doing here. Just gonna bulge out something like this. Seriously, like you can make a movie design out of this. Like that's how much detail. Yeah. Dude, it helps. Sometimes it's just hard to visualize it in the right perspective unless you do it like that. Little nose. Okay. That made it way easier. Oh, that's gonna look badass. Badass. All right. Literally the hardest part of this whole piece is done. Or at least the most time-consuming one. Okay, let's flip it again because we don't do that nearly enough. And let's see. Get his abs going. I love that, like just making him feel like super like sinewy. Okay, thankfully the inside of this thing is way easier to just knock out. Okay, this is another one of those where he's got bones. Sort of lining the top, so There's going to be a bit of a ridge there. There's a documentary series on Netflix called, I want to say, The Toys That Made Us. Oh my God, I'm loving it. I just watched the episode the other day where each one is about an hour long, like 45 minutes an hour. And they go into the history of some super iconic toy line. Anyway, they did one on Masters of the Universe. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're just this session we fleshed out the pose, and now we're just kind of finishing out the undersketch, and then I'm going to finish the inks on top. But yeah, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I just watched the episode with it was all about the Masters of the Universe line and how that got started, and oh my God, there was some funny stories in there. Funny stuff. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. Yeah, the other episode that was really good was Star Trek, the Star Trek toys. That one was a good one. The Star Wars line, that was a great one. Yeah, I mean, all of them are great. I actually just watched the Barbie one the other day, and there's some aspects of that history that I was not aware of. So, I mean, they're all really interesting. I just think that some of them, it comes down to like your own personal affinity for the franchise. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Masters of the Universe fan, so I loved and super appreciated that. I never was a collector of the Star Trek toys, but I thought I do like Star Trek, and I thought the story behind it was really interesting. I was, however, into Star Wars toys, so yeah, that one was interesting. The funniest thing about the Star Wars toy history, I think, was how when the original Star Wars movie came out, nobody knew that. Well, first of all, a bunch of studios had passed up on it because they were like, "This is stupid. Nobody's gonna want to watch this." Oh, oops. So when the toy companies got a hold of the action figure deal, when they first got the deal, like they didn't know what to expect, so they didn't have the toys ready in time. And then as soon as the movie came out and it was doing gangbusters, suddenly then there was a huge demand for merchandise. And so they're, desperately trying to get it out there. And I think it was, I think the story is that when A New Hope came out, that holiday season, you could get these boxes of the figures, like the collection of like the entire line. It's like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker or whatever. But when you actually bought the package and you took it home and you opened it up, the figures weren't actually in there because the figures were not done. There was basically almost like a coupon in there that was like, okay, you'll get your figures, in March or something. And, on its face, it's kind of a funny story, but then like you imagine how many kids got that stuff for Christmas, and then they saw the box, and then they were super jazzed to open it, and then they open up the box, and it just says, like, in a couple months you'll get the figures that are on the box. What? Are you kidding me? I would have been like, man, that is some bullshit. But yeah, I mean, they basically had to play catch up, because they just didn't know, and then they knew for next time. They definitely knew for the next time. What droid is that? IOU. Exactly. IOU. I think there's another episode on Friday. Yeah, I actually I didn't really care for that last episode too much. Like the guy who they cast as that young bounty hunter. Man, I found him really annoying for some reason. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I mean, I don't think it was so much like a problem with the story of the episode. I think it was just stuff like that one character. He kind of bugged me. Not that he was supposed to be likable, but like the actor, like I don't know. I didn't really buy it. But dude, I'm really enjoying the show. My wife is one of those people who's absolutely Baby Yoda obsessed. And then my son, like, will be like, yeah, let's watch Mandalorian. Okay. And the entire episode is like, where's Baby Yoda? Where's Baby Yoda? Where's Baby Yoda? He's not here yet. Where is he? I don't know. You're going to have to watch the episode. Where's Baby Yoda? Like, he doesn't like watching the first episode because, like, Baby Yoda doesn't show up until the end or whatever. I'm like, really, dude? Dude, that scene was awesome. It was so out of nowhere. I feel like I should have known. I should have known something like that was coming. But man, in the moment, it was so out of nowhere, but it was so worth it. Man, I loved that. Oh, that whole sequence was great. Darth Vader wrecking house. I just thought Leia looked horribly fake in that last shot. Like she looked like undead Leia or something. I couldn't tell how the people over at ILM with, I mean, them being the caliber that they are, like I can't imagine how they saw that and went, "Yep." I mean, it just seemed so horribly obvious that she was fake. And I was just like, "What?" Like if you can't make it convincing enough, don't put her there like with all this light right on her face. It's like I would rather she be obscured a little bit and I buy it than to see her in all of her undead glory and just be left wondering like why, like what happened to her that made her look so dead. Although, to be fair, I mean, having worked in entertainment and doing CG for so long, maybe it's overcritical. I don't know. All I know is like I remember seeing it going, "Oh my god, that doesn't look good." And I think the Grand Moff Tarkin stuff was it kind of skirted the line for me. It was less the rendering on him, and it was more anytime he opened his mouth and was moving around. Like sometimes it was done really well, and then other times it was still the almost overly stiff feeling CG. But there are other moments where they kind of hide him in shadow a little bit, and it's a lot more dramatic. It's a little more high contrast, and I thought it looked great. I mean, not perfect by any means, but you know, I thought it worked. But you know, whatever nitpicks I have about that stuff, like I feel like as soon as I saw the Leia scene at the very end, I was going, "Ooh!" No, the Tarkin stuff was incredible in comparison. But yeah, man, agreed that Darth Vader scene was awesome. What other streams do y'all watch? Like, do you watch more art streams or gamer streams? Podcasting ones, cool. Um, yeah, I've been getting into a lot of the art ones just because I can listen to them and kind of just leave it on while I'm working. God, what games ones have I been watching lately? Ever since they announced Diablo 4, I've been watching more recaps of that stuff on Twitch. Let's see, Path of Exile I watch on Twitch. Mostly because I wish I could spend way too much time playing it, but unfortunately I don't have that kind of time. So I'm limited to just watching other people do it. You know what? I think this is way too high up on here. I think I goofed. In fact, wait, did I? Oh, maybe not. All right. A little bit, but that's okay. Or we can tweak it later. Either one. It's fine. Actually, most of this stuff will be obscured in shadow anyway, so I'm just gonna quickly lay in where some of this stuff should be sitting, at least broadly, and then be done with it for now. Okay, throw in a couple of these spider legs. Ooh, 3D printing. I would love to play around with some of that. I had this idea about like doing like action figures or collectibles or something. That'd be awesome. Yeah, that's what I've heard. So I work with a few people who do their own 3D printing. Actually, an ex-coworker of mine, she was doing like all sorts of like Star Wars models. Like she was doing a bunch of the vehicles and printing them out in 3D, which I thought was awesome. And they actually turned out pretty decent too. And then I also have a buddy who does more like fine art sculptures, and he started printing some of it out in 3D and then actually doing, just hand painting, and really, really fantastic results. So yeah, if you do anything cool, I'd love to see it for sure. What? That's awesome. Man, I bet that made their day. Yes. I played Actually, I've played every single Warcraft. And then World of Warcraft I played into Burning Crusade, and I think that's when I stopped. Just didn't have the time to devote to it anymore. But yeah, I played Warcraft. Yes. Um, oh, dude. How tall are those? Nice. Oh, that's sweet. What's the most complex model you've done? Like the most complex sculpt? Mm. Oh, that'd be awesome, dude. Yeah, get the lighting effects in there. That'd be badass. Dude, that is sick. That's awesome, man. Haha. That's great. Yeah, I would. Oh, man. I wish I had enough time to get in there and learn how to do all that, but. All right, we're nearing the home stretch on this bad boy. Inking will go so much faster now that we've got some clean lines underneath. 10:58, okay. Usually I go to 11, but I might go a little over on this one because I want to try to get all this done. Save it before I crash and lose all my shit. And yeah, this thing got a little screwed up. Whatever. Oh yeah, I bet. Doing all the functional stuff. The inking, I don't think I'm going to do the inking tonight. I think I'm going to do the inking tomorrow night. Because I've got an early day tomorrow. So yeah, usually, so my schedule as of late has been Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Central. And I usually go for about 2 hours, so like 9 to 11. If I'm feeling suitably energetic and if I don't have to be up at the crack of dawn the next day, then I'll go even later. Yeah, usually it takes me a few sessions to get through these things. Just because, I'm not, I'm like chatting and talking and stuff like that. But hey. I'm being raided. Yeah, welcome. And thanks, Dave. Much appreciated. Yeah, I'm wrapping up like an undersketch of all the armor and just kind of starting to lay in some indications of where like the light and shadow and everything is, how all that's gonna fall. And then yeah, we were just talking about I'm gonna finish up this pass, and then tomorrow night I'll come in and I'll start finishing out the inks for everything. I have a bunch of inks that were done already just because I had an initial pose I was working off of, and then the more I got into it, I was like, you know what, I'm not into this. So I decided to kind of revamp it a little bit. So I'm definitely digging this way more than where it was. Yeah, my name is Michael Pedro. I'm a concept artist. I've been working in the games industry since about 2005. About 2 years ago, I took a bit of a hiatus and went and did some animation work. I went to Rooster Teeth Animation and was the art director on the first season of Genlock. And after that, I decided to take a break, go back to games for a little bit. Some friends of mine were working on a great project that I really wanted to be involved with. So I'm back working in games and trying to get into doing comic stuff on the side. So yeah, I was there for about 1 year and 7 months. Yeah, it was an interesting experience. Learned a lot. Worked with a really great group of people over there. Lots of talent, lots of passion. That is for damn sure. Yeah, made some good friends over there, and the show turned out awesome. Like I think we started it with these high aspirations, which is easy when you're kind of blue skying a project, and then in the end, for it to actually exceed your expectations in a lot of ways, is always welcome. So yeah, I had a blast working on that. I mean, there were some growing pains, that's for sure. I mean, like we all wanted to make something that was bigger than anything else that the studio had done before. So I mean, there's always going to be a certain amount of pain that comes along with it. But like we all kind of rallied together, and the team really brought their A game. So, but anyway, yeah, did that and had a blast. And now I'm doing games and trying to do some comic stuff on the side. So, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. There were some aspects of Genlock that were a little out of my comfort zone. We were, because myself and the director, like we wanted to try to do sort of like an amalgamation of like we wanted to have like the anime influence in there. So there was that, and then there's the influences of lots of like films and stuff like that we were both fans of, and so visually we tried to kind of bridge all that in a way that was harmonious with the narrative. And I think for the most part we were successful. Obviously if we were to go on and do more of it, like there's things that you could evolve and make better, but I think for that first season, I think it totally worked. Yeah, I will admit that the frame rate experimentation, you kind of had to be a fan of that. I mean, I'm sure that there's ways that we could have improved it. If you were able to go on to a second season and evolve it a little bit. I know some people who liked it. I mean, like for me, like I'm used to watching, excuse me. I'm kind of getting over a cold. I'm used to watching a lot of the like old school, hand drawn anime, and so for me, like it started to feel like that most of the time. But yeah, I mean, like I think it just came down to a taste thing. It was either your cup of tea or it wasn't. Like I said, I think if we were to like go in there and R&D it enough, I think you could come up with ways of doing it and smoothing it out even more so that you still get the effect, but maybe it's not as off-putting to certain people. But yeah. Yeah, we went to Ringling College of Art and Design. Well, we went when it was still the Ringling School of Art and Design. And I heard no end of jokes about that when I was going there. Yeah, you remember that? Ringling School. It was like, it's a school, like a circus school? Yes, it's a circus school. It's a circus school. Yeah, she was one of the concept artists on it. Yeah, she did some killer character design work. Yeah, she's one of those artists who well, to be fair, I think most artists are like this, but she definitely stands out to me as one of those artists who's like working on something incredible. You're like, wow, that's really, really good. No, no, it's not. Yeah. Like, what is wrong with you? Yeah, we had a great group of people over there. Okay. Oh, finally. Okay. I think I think we got it all rendered in there, right? Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if anybody's wondering what it is I'm looking at, I've got this handy Skeletor figure. It's from like the early 2000s. I want to say it's like 2003. It kind of reminds me of a McFarlane figure just because of the insane detail sculpt. So while I love the way it looks, drawing it can be a pain in the ass, but it does look super sweet when it's done. So oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, actual ink. Yeah, did you go with the pens or did you go with the like the pens or like the crow quill pens? I mean, that's kind of old school, but I know people who still do that. Me, I'm more of like a like the God, what did I used to use? Shit, I can't even remember the brand now. But no, it was just like the capped pens or whatever. Part Indiana brush. The microns, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. I love using the microns. You can get some really nice line quality out of those. Great for detailing. I know it makes me lame, but yeah, I don't know how I would do. with trying traditional ink now. It's like I'm trying to remember. Like the only thing traditional I ever do anymore is like I draw on my sketchbook, and half the time that doesn't go nearly as well as I would like. I'm doing digital way too long. Like if I don't have an undo button, like it just ain't happening. I'm the worst kind of artist. That's actually why I like drawing with ballpoint pen when I'm doing sketchbook stuff. Because I feel like when you really have to commit, like you can't even erase it. Like that's like the ultimate in learning how to commit. Yeah, yeah, same here. Yeah, I find when I do traditional stuff, it's like I kind of had to develop more of a messy looking style, just because it like I just kind of draw messy, and if you can somehow embrace that and turn it into something that seems to work, then it's not as big of a deal. But I mean, just like anything else, it comes down to a taste thing. Okay, I think we got him ready for some ink action. Now I just need to get the let's see, just get like these magic effects drawn in a little better. This cough can go away at any time. Oh, for sure. The other thing I love about drawing with ballpoint pen is it's like depending on like, you know, if you just kind of draw super lightly with it, you can get this, you know, kind of crunchy, you know, this very, very light kind of crunchy texture out of it. Similar to, you know, drawing with a pencil or something. So if you can make that work for you, like I've seen people do some incredible, incredible rendering like that. I'm not really sure I'm liking that, but we'll leave it for now, I guess. I want to get back to drawing on a Cintiq, is what I want. Like, I love sculpting and doing digital painting on my tablet. But when it comes to drawing, I can do it, but it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as comfortable as doing it with a Cintiq. Like an actual surface you can draw on. Yeah, the Cintiq thing. I mean, that's why I stayed, because like I've worked almost exclusively with other concept artists who use a Cintiq for years, and they always just kind of ribbed me and would be like, I don't understand why you keep drawing like a dinosaur on that thing. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. It's like I love the visual disconnect of working on a tablet, except for when I'm drawing. If I'm painting, it's fine. If I'm sculpting, it's fine. I don't know what it is. I tried it, I couldn't make it work. All right, I'm not sure I'm really liking this, but it'll work for now. It's starting to get a little busy. That's not going to work. I think what I'll do is knock this back a little bit, and we'll figure something out. And we go in and do the rest of the inks on this bad boy. Ugh. Yeah, that's true. The price, yeah, that's been a deterrent. Not gonna lie. Oh, dude. Hey, if you like that, you'll love this. Dun dun. I couldn't help it. I did some of the line work and I was like, ooh, I wonder what it would look like if I have no self-control. Anyways, I'm just getting considerate being ahead of the curve. A color comp. That's right. It was just to prove to myself that it was going to work. I have no self-control. I'm sorry. Like, once I start to get excited about it, it's like I have to like pick a small portion of it to just jump right to the end, and then just like solidify in my own head that it's like, yeah, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. And then I get super jazzed to just like finish the rest of it. But yes, I have no self-control. I jump into these things way too early. Oh, I've been hearing some good stuff about that. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Wacom, they need to have some competition. They make good stuff, but it would be nice to see somebody else in that marketplace. Am I doing feedbacks too? I haven't yet. I mean, I'd be open to doing it. Honestly, I haven't had anyone ask. Nope, stop it. All right, I'm gonna leave that other area alone. Start trying to get some more coverage on this thing. Adobe Illustrator. I've used Illustrator since I was in college. Yeah, I've always been more comfortable in Photoshop. I've known a bunch of people who, worked with it for a living, and I'm assuming they love it. But yeah, I don't know if I just couldn't get the hang of it or what. But of course, to be fair, I mean, I never did too much like graphic design work. Who knows? Maybe I would have liked it more if that's what I was using it for, like more vector stuff. I mean, anything vector I have to do nowadays, I feel like I can just do it right in Photoshop. Okay. Just want to make sure that this is reading the way I want it to. Yeah, I think that'll work. I need to start throwing some more shadow over here. Might do that in a second, actually. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it right now. Screw it. There we go. What kind of details are on this figure that I'm missing? All right, never mind. We've got it. It's got more of these little borders on here. Yeah, I gotta thank y'all for jumping into the stream tonight. Hope you guys find it worth it. Yeah, so I've just been working on some kind of comic styled stuff for the last couple weeks, and yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna finish up this one, and then to be honest, I'm not sure what I'm gonna be doing next. I could do more comic stuff. Comic styled stuff, do some original characters. I have an IP that I'm developing, and I'm sure that stuff will show up on here at some point. Let's see what else. What else? Yeah, I'm kind of open to doing whatever, to be honest. Oh, like a sneak peek at future stuff. As soon as I have something that I'd be comfortable with showing off, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, could do that. It's kind of, I mean, it's like super early days. So honestly, if I did any of that work on here, I mean, that would be the first time anybody's seeing it. So yeah, I mean, if that's something that y'all are interested in, we can certainly plan to do more of that. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be totally down for doing that. Like that's sort of what I'm doing with my Patreon right now. Is I'm sort of alternating between doing original stuff and more like fan art type pieces, because I like doing fan art type stuff. Whether it's doing like updated designs or just stuff like this, where it's like, I decided to do a Skeletor drawing, and I don't really have plans for it other than just to do something cool and have fun with it. I like doing all that stuff. So yeah, my Patreon, I kind of go back and forth and try to give people a voice as to what I'm gonna work on next. And if it's original stuff, then it's gonna be something that I'm choosing. And if it's something more fan art, like if somebody has a character that they want to see, or if they have an idea for a piece, then it's like, we'll do that. And usually we'll do some type of a poll on it. But yeah, I'd be totally down for doing something similar here, if that's what people are interested in. I mean, I find it fun, so yeah, I've got no problems with that. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, I mean, no worries. Like I said, we can do some of that stuff here too. So yeah, we'll leave it. Good luck with your job application, by the way. I feel like I know quite a handful of people who are transitioning jobs right now, so yeah, best of luck. Uh, get that sleep if you need it. Oh, Spanish. Yeah, I learned Spanish, and then I promptly forgot it all. Oops. Yeah, we didn't have too many options in mine either. Like it was basically Spanish and Latin or something. reads way better. Okay. Okay. Dude, that's the way it's got to be if you want to learn a language and retain it. It's like you got to have people to just talk it with. Like I didn't when I took it. Like if I was to take it now, I'd have plenty of people to speak it with, but not when I was taking it in high school. All right. That's I think that's coming together. And the compositional changes that we made tonight, I think those are working. And yeah, I think the rest of this is going to go pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to save it where it's at. Thank you. Yeah. It took some modifying here and there to really get it to where I was wanting, but I think yeah, I think it's working for the most part. We'll go in, we'll probably throw some value in the back so that we can do like a cool kind of black and white, more graphic composition with it, and then I think maybe tomorrow, tomorrow night I'll go ahead and get the rest of it inked, and then the next stream after that we'll go in and start throwing some color in there. That's the fun part. That's the really fun part. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it here for the night and get back to this tomorrow. So yeah, again, thanks for jumping into the channel, jumping into the stream. I was super glad to see everybody. That was a welcome surprise. Thanks, Dave, if you're still on here. Yeah, hopefully you guys like what you continue to see, and I mean, I'm gonna be pumping these things out, so as quickly as my little Wacom pen can knock them out. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.